Welcome back to another episode of Dialoguing English Podcast. Today we have a brand new topic, English at the coffee shop. And trust me, this one is full of vocabulary, expressions, and chaos. Because James had a very interesting experience this week.
Interesting is a polite way to say emotionally damaging.
You survived. Mostly. And our listeners are going to learn a lot from your suffering.
Good to know my pain is educational.
It always is. So tell everyone how your morning started.
I woke up craving coffee. Simple. Pure. A peaceful mission. I walked to my favorite coffee shop, rehearsing my order in my head like I was preparing for the Olympics of caffeine.
Listeners, he really does rehearse. I've seen him outside coffee shops whispering, "One latte, please," like a secret spell.
Preparation is everything. But then, when I walked in, the barista smiled and said, "What can I get for you?"
Easy question.
Should be, but suddenly all my English left my body, completely. I opened my mouth and said, "Coffee. Human coffee. No, normal. I mean latte."
You ordered a human coffee?
My brain betrayed me. The barista looked concerned.
I would look concerned too.
He tried to help by asking, "What size?"
And listeners, this is where everything exploded.
I panicked again, and instead of saying medium, I said, "I'm medium."
Lou introduced yourself as a drink size.
I wish I could erase that moment from history.
The barista actually wrote medium on your cup as if it was your name.
And then called it loudly for everyone to hear.
How special for medium. I still laugh thinking about it.
An old lady clapped. I don't know why. Maybe she thought it was a performance.
You should have bowed.
No, I grabbed the cup and escaped to a small corner like a defeated wizard.
And then, like a true hero making poor decisions, you went back to order again.
Because the first drink was too strong. I needed a normal latte to recover from the trauma of becoming a size.
So the barista greeted you with, "Back again, medium."
At that moment, I considered legally changing my name.
And again, he asked, "What size?"
That question is cursed. Instead of answering normally, I said, "I'm James."
Which did not answer the question.
But he somehow understood and just wrote small. I think he gave up on me.
Then something incredible happened. When the drinks were ready, he called out, "Latte for James," and another guy stood up to grab it.
The tall, handsome, perfectly fluent guy. My rival.
But the barista stopped him and said, "Not you, the other James."
And suddenly everyone turned to me again. My destiny.
You walked up so dramatically.
I said, "Yes, I am the other James." It felt like a movie.
And that was the moment your confidence returned?
Until I tried to leave the shop and accidentally pushed a pole door.
Classic.
Everyone saw it.
Even the toddler eating a muffin?
Especially the toddler. He judged me deeply.
After all that, you sat down at a table, finally ready to drink your latte.
But the shop was crowded, so a woman walked up and asked, "Is this seat taken?"
And instead of answering normally,
I said, "I don't know."
you didn't know if the seat was taken?
I panicked again. I thought maybe someone invisible had claimed it.
So she rephrased it, "Can I sit here?"
And I finally understood. I said, "Yes, absolutely." She sat down and smiled.
She was trying to be friendly and said, "Do you come here often?"
I wasn't sure if it was small talk or flirting. So I said, "Only when I forget how to order drinks."
James!
But she laughed and then said she was also learning English.
So everything worked out.
Yes. And she even taught me a phrase to use when you don't understand the barista. Sorry, could you say that again?
which you immediately practiced.
At the wrong time. She looked at me and said, James, I didn't say anything.
But at least you're learning.
Slowly. Painfully, but yes,
Talking to her actually gave you more confidence, didn't it?
absolutely. We talked about drinks, about languages, about everything. And guess what? She said she makes mistakes all the time too.
That's the secret. Everyone makes mistakes.
And those mistakes make the best stories.
And the best podcast episodes. So, while you were having an existential crisis over coffee sizes, something else happened at that table, didn't it?
Oh, yes. The universe wasn't done humiliating me. I was sitting there, trying to look like a normal, functioning adult, when the woman at the table, her name is Lena, asked me, "What's your favorite drink?"
Easy question, right?
It should be, but for some reason I answered, "My favorite drink is chair."
Wait. What?
I meant chai. You know, chai latte, but I said chair. She looked at the chair like, "Is it flavored?"
James, you cannot say you like drinking chairs.
I panicked and said, "It's spicy," which made everything worse.
Wait, so you told a stranger your favorite drink is a spicy chair?
I'm an innovator, ahead of my time.
I'm crying. But okay, after that disaster, did the conversation get better?
Shockingly, yes. She laughed so hard that I felt comfortable again. Then she asked me if I knew the difference between chai and tea.
Listeners, this is good vocabulary. Tea is the drink. Chai literally means tea, but in many countries, chai refers to spiced tea with milk.
Exactly. And then we started comparing favorite drinks. Hers is iced mocha.
That's the chocolate one, right?
Yes, coffee, milk, chocolate, ice, the whole dessert disguised as a drink.
I feel judged, but continue.
After that, she asked something that hit me deeply. Why are you learning English?
Ooh, good question.
I told her that I want to feel confident in everyday places like coffee shops, restaurants, airports, without turning into a confused vegetable.
Reasonable goal.
And she shared that she needed English for work and also because she likes traveling.
So you two bonded over mistakes and coffee.
Exactly. And while we were talking, something hilarious happened. A guy walked in with a huge iced coffee, like the size of a small aquarium,
Oh no.
and he tripped. Just a little, but imagine, one single ice cube flew out at high speed like a missile
Where did it land?
on my lap.
Of course it did. Of course the laws of the universe chose you.
Lena said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yes, I like cold knees." Why did I say that?
Because you're a natural comedian without trying.
A tragic comedian.
So, with frozen knees and humiliation level 9,000, you kept talking.
Yes. And then we heard a classic coffee shop moment. Someone shouting, "Is there Wi-Fi?"
There's always that person.
The barista yelled back, "The password is wait for it." And everyone waited.
Wait, was that actually the password?
Yes, literally, wait for it.
That's genius.
Lena and I laughed and she said, "This place has personality."
And then your latte arrived.
Yes, a different barista brought it to the table and said, "Here's your small latte." Then she looked at me and said, "Wait, aren't you medium?"
I cannot breathe.
Lena said, "Why did she call you medium?"
So I told her the whole embarrassing story.
And she?
She laughed so much she almost spilled her own drink. Then she said, "Congratulations, James. You are the only person I know with multiple beverage identities."
Honestly, iconic.
I should have worn a name tag.
Hello, my name is not medium.
Exactly. Anyway, after we finished laughing, she asked me if I ever practice ordering different drinks.
Useful practice, especially for learners.
Yes. She said, try saying, "Can I get followed by the drink name."
Great structure for beginners. Can I get a small latte? Can I get an iced Americano? Can I get a caramel frappuccino?
I practiced out loud, right there, in front of strangers.
Brave.
I said, "Can I get a cappuccino?" Then a guy next to me whispered, "Nice. Good job, man."
Did you get applause?
No, but I deserved some.
After that, what happened?
Lena told me she usually struggles with the question, for here or to go.
Oh, yes. Many learners freeze at that.
So we practiced that too. For here means you stay. To go means you take it with you.
Perfect. And do you help her practice?
Yes, she asked me, "James, ask me like a barista."
Let me guess. You became overly dramatic.
I said in a deep voice, "For here or to go?" Like I was in a suspense movie.
That poor girl.
She said, "To go, please," trying not to laugh.
This whole scene sounds like a sitcom.
Then the universe decided to add a plot twist. The coffee shop suddenly started smelling like something sweet.
Oh no. What did you do?
It wasn't me this time. The barista burnt a batch of cookies.
And?
The smell was so strong that everyone looked around. Lena said, "Wow, that smells like my childhood."
Burnt cookies?
Apparently, yes. Her mom always burned them.
A meaningful trauma.
So she stood up and asked the barista if she could have one anyway. And he said, "They're free, but they might fight back."
I love this place already.
She brought one to the table and said, "Want to try?" And I made the mistake of saying, "Ladies first."
Why is that a mistake?
Because she took a bite and said, "It's hard, like a rock."
So I replied, well, I love rocks. Rocks seem to be your new food group.
She laughed, but then she said, "Okay, your turn." I tried it, and Sophia, it crunched like I was eating the floor of a construction site.
Delicious.
My teeth filed a complaint.
But all of this made the conversation deeper, didn't it?
Yes, she started telling me about the time she studied abroad and accidentally ordered 12 coffees instead of 2.
12?
She mispronounced 2 as 12. So when the barista repeated it, she panicked and said yes.
I love her energy.
I told her, "Don't worry, I can relate. I once ordered a latte and got called medium for the rest of the day."
A match made in caffeine chaos.
Exactly.
So, after the cookie incident and the emotional bonding over caffeine trauma, where did the conversation go next?
Well, this is where things took an unexpected turn. Lena looked at me and said, "Do you always have days like this?"
Fair question.
I said, "Only on days that end with day." And she laughed so loud that 2 people turned around.
Good. Public laughter is a sign you're winning.
I felt proud for a second. Then she asked, "Do you ever come here at night?"
Oh, interesting.
I told her I never do because I thought the coffee shop closed early. But she said, "No, they're open until 10 p.m. They even have live music sometimes."
Live music in a coffee shop? That sounds magical.
She said she went once and heard a guy play the ukulele while singing about running out of sugar.
A relatable anthem.
Extremely. Then she asked if I wanted to check out the place at night someday, just to see the vibe.
Look at you, making coffee friends.
I know. I told her, sure, as long as the cookies don't attack again.
Reasonable condition.
Then we switched topics and talked about vocabulary. She said she always gets confused between foam and froth.
Classic. Foam equals the bubbly layer. Froth equals the airy, whipped texture. They're similar, but baristas love both.
I explained it just like that, and she said, wow, you explain things clearly.
A compliment. How did you react?
I said, thank you. That's unusual for me. And she laughed again.
You're very good at accidental comedy.
It's my superpower. Then she asked me what I usually do in a coffee shop.
Besides creating chaos?
Exactly. So I said, I read, I write, sometimes I bring my laptop. But then I asked her the same question, and she said something really interesting.
What did she say?
She said she likes to people watch.
Ooh, that's such a fascinating hobby.
Right? She said she likes observing how people interact, especially in public places, because everyone behaves differently.
True. You can learn a lot about culture just by observing how people order coffee.
She told me she once watched a couple argue about cinnamon for 20 minutes.
Cinnamon? How?
The guy wanted cinnamon on his cappuccino. The girl said cinnamon ruins everything. They debated like it was a political crisis.
Young love.
Then Lena said something deep. Coffee shops are stories waiting to happen, little moments that reveal who people are.
That's beautiful. And honestly, true.
I told her I love that idea. And she said, that's why I like talking to strangers here. You never know what you'll learn.
She sounds like a very warm and curious person.
She really is. And then it was my turn to share something. I told her my favorite coffee shop memory.
And what was that?
One time, an old man sat next to me and suddenly said, son, always order the muffin. Life is too short to say no to muffins.
Wise words.
And then he left. No context, no explanation, just muffin philosophy.
Honestly, that man is a legend.
Lena laughed so hard she almost choked on her iced mocha. Then she said, if I ever become a grandmother, I want to give advice like that.
Her energy is immaculate.
After laughing, we started practicing more English. This time, phrases you hear all the time in a coffee shop.
Like what?
Can I get that iced? Do you have non-dairy milk? Can you warm this up? Does this come with sugar?
Perfect everyday expressions.
And then she asked me something surprisingly difficult. What's the difference between a latte and a cappuccino?
Many learners get confused.
So I explained, a latte has more milk, a cappuccino has more foam, and a flat white is somewhere in between.
Look at you, coffee professor.
After that, she said something adorable. I always forget the differences, so I just order the cheapest one.
Smart strategy.
Then the barista passed by and said, if you want something cheap, just get plain coffee. But he said it with a straight face like he was delivering sad news.
The coffee shop characters are priceless.
They really are. Then Lena suddenly asked, do you ever work from here?
Do you?
Sometimes, but I told her the truth. I try, but I end up people watching too.
So you both share the same secret hobby.
Exactly. She said it makes every visit interesting. Someone's always having a weird little adventure.
Like you being called medium.
Yes, I am the adventure. Then she asked me, "What's the strangest thing you've ever seen in a coffee shop?"
Oh, yes, tell me.
I once saw a guy bring a full pineapple, like an actual pineapple, put it on the table, and drink his espresso while staring at it.
Silence. Why?
I don't know. I was too afraid to ask.
That man is on a journey we cannot understand.
Lena said, maybe the pineapple was his emotional support fruit?
I love her imagination.
Then she told me her weirdest moment.
Oh boy, here we go.
She said she once saw a woman order a hot tea, then pour it into her plants outside.
What?
She said when the barista asked what she was doing, she said, "It's for their growth."
Tea for plants? Ma'am, they are not British.
Lena said the barista just nodded slowly and went back inside like, "I'm not paid for this."
I would have cried laughing.
After that, we talked about how coffee shops are perfect places to practice English. She said she loves hearing how people order because it helps her with pronunciation.
That's a great tip for students.
Yes, she said she listens for things like tone, rhythm, speed, and little expressions like, "no worries," "take your time," "all good," and "here you go."
Those phrases are gold.
And then she asked me something surprisingly difficult. She said, "If you are ever lost in life, just tell the sun to guide you."
That is deeply random.
It came out of nowhere. And I said, "Wow, you really like making light friends."
It sounds like she's having an existential moment.
Isn't always wants everyone to be clear.
I thought this was about coffee.
It is, but she said another thing that I really liked. She said, coffee shops aren't just about coffee. They're about connection.
That's so true. Small moments, small conversations, big memories.
Exactly. And that's when something unexpected happened.
Oh no. What now?
The lights flickered.
Dramatic?
Then the barista shouted, "Don't worry. It happens every time someone plugs in the toaster."
Of course. Perfect timing.
Lena looked at me and said, "This place is chaos."
And you said?
Yeah, that's why I feel at home.
And she smiled, didn't she?
Yes. And then she said, "We should come back next week."
Look at you, making plans already.
I know. But then something really weird happened.
Tell me everything.
The pineapple guy came back.
No.
Yes. He walked in with another pineapple.
Does he own a pineapple farm?
I don't know. But Lena looked at me and said, "Is he a part-time superhero?"
What was his superpower? Vitamin C?
Maybe emotional support and tropical vibes?
Incredible.
And that's exactly when the barista said, "Hey, welcome back, pineapple guy." Like it was completely normal.
Okay, now I need to visit this coffee shop.
You'd love it. And that's where everything clicked for me. A simple visit for a latte became a whole story because of the people, the conversations, the laughter, the chaos, and the pineapples.
That's the heart of learning English. Real moments, real people, real chaos.
And a very strong coffee.
I love how a simple coffee run turned into a full adventure. But tell me, what happened after Pineapple Guy made his glorious return?
Well, Lena and I just stared at each other like, all right, plot twist. And then Pineapple Guy walked past our table very slowly, like we were supposed to acknowledge his pineapple presence.
A dramatic entrance. Respect.
He placed the pineapple on the table next to him again. Same routine, no explanation.
Maybe he's studying the pineapple, like meditation.
Honestly, at this point,
I wouldn't be surprised if he whispered inspirational quotes to it.
Believe in yourself, pineapple. You are strong.
Exactly. But here's the best part. Lena whispered, "Do we ask him why?" I said, "Absolutely not. If he wants to share his pineapple philosophy, he will come to us."
Wise decision. Never disturb a man with a pineapple mission.
Then the barista, who clearly knows Pineapple Guy, said loudly, "Hey man, new pineapple today?" And Pineapple Guy said very seriously, "Yeah, yesterday's one needed a rest."
Stop. Stop right now.
I swear, Lena choked on her drink again. She said, "Did he just say the pineapple needed a rest?"
Imagine being so emotionally attached to a fruit that you rotate them like employees.
Pineapple shift schedule.
Monday, pineapple A. Tuesday, pineapple B. Wednesday, mental health day.
Meanwhile, I'm there just trying to drink my latte like a normal person. But then something sweet happened. Lena handed me a napkin and said, "Here, in case you start laughing too hard and spill again."
Ooh, that's like early friendship care, maybe more.
It felt nice. And I said, "I really need protective gear for this coffee shop."
Maybe a helmet.
Or a bib.
A coffee bib. You're setting trends.
We went back to talking about English phrases you hear in cafés. Lena asked me about the difference between "can I have," "could I get," and "may I have."
Great question. Learners ask that all the time.
I explained that all of them are polite, but "could I get" is the most common in casual places. And she said, "Then that's what I'll use. It sounds friendly."
She's right. It does.
Then she asked about the phrase "for here" or "to go."
Classic.
And I joked, "For here" means chaos. "To go" means peace. She laughed and said, "Then why do you keep choosing chaos?"
Because you're a magnet for weird events.
I told her that. She said, "Maybe we should come back together next time. It's more fun with company."
She said that?
Yeah. And I said something smooth. Or at least I tried.
Oh no. What did you say?
I said, "Yeah, chaos becomes less chaotic when you have someone to chaos with."
That is the most awkward romantic sentence I have ever heard.
I know, but she just smiled and said, "Exactly."
Oh, wow. She understood your awkward poetry.
I guess she speaks James language.
A rare skill. Not everyone can translate nervous stuttering into friendly interest.
After that, we started talking about evening routines. She told me she usually studies English at night while drinking tea.
Tea that she does not share with plants.
Hopefully not. She asked me what I do at night, and I said, "Sometimes I watch videos to practice English listening."
Using our podcast, right?
Obviously. I said, "There's this podcast, two very charming hosts."
She said, really? What's it called?
And I said, "Dialoguing English."
Yes, free marketing.
I told her it's great for learning because the conversations are natural but easy to follow. And she said she would check it out.
I like her more and more.
Then she asked if I ever practice speaking alone, like repeating sentences.
That's a great technique.
I said yes, especially with phrases like "I'd like," "I'm looking for," "Could you recommend?"
Good practical ones.
She told me Her problem is that she gets shy speaking English in front of people. So I gave her a tip. Pretend you're in a movie scene. Everyone else is just an extra.
That's actually brilliant.
She said, "Okay, then you're my co-star in this coffee scene." And I said, "I'll try not to forget my lines."
You had one job.
We practiced ordering together for like 10 minutes. She improved super fast. It was amazing.
That's the power of a calm, fun environment.
But then we got interrupted again.
Pineapple guy?
No, this time the barista turned on the microphone for the announcement of the day.
Oh no.
He said, "Attention customers, whoever ordered the cappuccino with extra foam, like a lot of foam, your drink is ready. And, good luck."
Why did that sound like a warning?
It looked like a bubble mountain. The cup was drowning inside the foam.
Someone ordered a cloud.
Lena whispered, "Is that a drink or a science experiment?"
A mysterious beverage.
Then she asked, "James, what's the English word for when there's way too much of something?"
Let me guess. You told her excessive.
Exactly. She repeated it a few times. Excessive, excessive. Then she pointed at the foam monster and said, "That is excessive."
Perfect usage.
Eventually, we finished our drinks. It felt like hours had passed, but in the best way. Before we left, she said, "Thanks for making my coffee break so fun."
Ah.
I said, "Thanks for not judging my chaotic energy."
And?
She said, "Chaos is entertaining. You're like a walking sitcom."
You are a walking sitcom.
Then she said, "So next week, same place?"
And I said, yes, as long as the pineapples behave.
She laughed and said, "Deal." We walked out, and right when we left, I heard the barista shout, "Pineapple guy, you can't put it on the chair again."
What? Why was the pineapple on the chair?
I don't know, but Lena and I looked at each other and said in harmony, "We're definitely coming back."
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how James turned a coffee shop visit into a full romantic comedy.
With educational vocabulary included.
Always. That's the magic of learning English with real stories. You remember the words because you remember the moments.
Exactly. Next time, maybe I'll learn the word for pineapple whisperer.
If that man returns, you might need it.